Welcome. It is wonderful to be able to celebrate the recipients of the 2022 American Culture's Excellence in Teaching Award and the Student Prize. As many will know, at this important annual prize ceremony, we are normally gathered together in our beautiful Morrison Reading Room in the Doe Library. It's the heart of our university and the research archives that have nourished our teaching and research journeys. And it is there that we normally celebrate you and enjoy this celebration with your family and friends. But although we are not able to physically be together, I wanted to make sure to send you my heartfelt congratulations on your important achievements this past year. Indeed, at this time in our history, with all its difficulties and challenges, celebrating our individual and collective achievements and the importance of your hard work is both essential and inspirational. Your work underlies the fact that great education broadens our vision for life and provides the intellectual transformation that is at the heart of our mission. As your work expertly frames, rarely is that broad vision of life so simple as to provide a roadmap to the answers for the struggles, questions, and possibilities of that life. But there is indeed great strength and wonderment in a broad vision, a vision that includes the musicians, the policymakers, the writers, the faith leaders, the organizers, the scientists, and the engineers, all of which reverberate in the works we celebrate today, both as ingredients to their projects and as possible life paths from UC Berkeley. Indeed, your accomplished works provide hope and profound inspiration for the future place that Berkeley, its staff, students, and faculty will hold in our changing world. You have taken one of the most complex curriculum spaces within that university, the American Cultures curriculum, and created visionary works that articulate, inform, and shape the way in which we collectively consider the world. So it is my great pleasure to introduce our award recipients. The Berkeley faculty member receiving the American Culture's Excellence in Teaching Award is Professor Brandi Summers from the Geography Department. Brandi is being recognized for the immense inspiration that they provide to their students, the creativity with which they meet the challenges and opportunities of teaching within the AC curriculum, and the development of pedagogies which mobilize the energy of our students in service of broader public service. We'll hear from Brandi shortly. Brandi, thank you for your important work in Geography 70 AC, the urban experience, race, class, gender, and the American city. As you share in your philosophy of the class, the diverse teaching tools and strategies created in the class are part of my commitment to engaged pedagogy, which has developed based on the presumption that classrooms are spaces that hold promise for radical change and growth within and outside the classroom. As an engaged teacher, what I'm really asking is that both me and my students take risks, to see ourselves and our lives as part of the critical process of inquiry, to be vulnerable enough to ask hard questions, and to see the world from different and sometimes contradictory point of views. Indeed, the immense value and impact of your teaching has not only been felt by UC Berkeley undergraduate students, but also by dozens of staff across campus in the Staffs as Students of Social Justice program. The opportunity to engage with your teaching and course materials at this time in our complex political and social lives has never been important. And in the words of one of your nominees, Brandi's teaching has been a critical resource for the university, especially as it sought to understand and respond to the challenges of racial disparities over the past 2 years. Brandi, thank you and congratulations. Today, we also recognize 2 students receiving the American Culture Student Prize. Each student project demonstrates the excellence found in the hard work and curiosity of our students, matched with sophisticated and imaginative research skills. Congratulations to Joe and Lauren, who we will be hearing from shortly. Joe Alvarado is being awarded the AC Student Prize for their essay, which began its academic life in Professor John Alba Cutler's 166 AC course, Racial Joy, in the Department of English. Joe's paper is titled Loving What Goes Away, Ross Gay's Gratitude for Loss and Life. The essay responds to a prompt in which students were asked to consider how the form of a poem produces racial joy, building on concepts discussed in class. Professor Cutler wrote in his letter supporting Joe's nomination to the prize that Joe's essay is not only a brilliant close textual analysis of Roskay's poem, but also a sensitive and moving consideration of how Black poetry provides resources for joy and abundance in the face of racial violence and discrimination. My heartfelt congratulations, Joe. The second recipient of the AC Student Prize is Lauren Adams for their multimodal literacy autobiography created in Professor Glinda Hull's Education 140 AC course, The Art of Making Meaning, Educational Perspectives on Literacy and Learning in a Global World. In a project from the course structured to provide analysis of a student's literacy story, language acquisition, and language history, Lauren communicated their journey through a poem called A Call Back. In a powerful, intimate, and emotive piece of performance art, Lauren's poem brings the reader into the language and cultures of ancestors of the Coast Salish people that were separated from by adoption, presenting the sorrow and happiness which, in Lauren's words, collide in a confusing mess. Lauren, thank you for sharing your journey with us, and congratulations on your award. Finally, in closing, I want to once more congratulate Professor Brandi Summers, recipient of the AC Excellence in Teaching Award. Each recipient's award today reflects the incredible result of years of hard and dedicated work and commitment to issues and questions which matter dearly to our complex society and lives. Thank you all, Fiat Lux, and Go Bears.
Hello, my name is Jo Alvarado, and I'm a recent graduate of UC Berkeley, receiving my BA in both English and Comparative Literature this past May. And I want to begin by extending my gratitude to Professor Cutler, who encouraged me to apply for this prize, and more importantly, cultivated such a bright and beautiful space for students of color within the English department. His class, Literatures of Racial Joy, asked us to reimagine the narratives of racial trauma and immiseration, acknowledging that to understand the multidimensionality and the bountifulness of historically marginalized people means to open up to the possibilities of beauty, liberation, ecstasy, joy, and wholeness. And that was the great task of this semester, to embark on a rigorous pursuit of love, connection, and solace against the backdrop of diversity, catastrophe, and loss. And my essay, titled Loving What Goes Away, Roskay's Gratitude for Loss in Life, examined the poem Catalog of Unabashed Gratitude and explored how Gay transforms the poetic landscape into an arena of liberating possibilities, creating a path from intimate and collective mourning toward healing and celebration. And especially now, as we move through a world of racial oppression, inequality, and devastation, I hope we open up to the marvelous energy of hope and possibility, to be unabashed in our liveliness. And so I will end by reciting the last lines of Roskay's Catalog of Unabashed Gratitude, lines I will continue to hold very close to my heart. What do you think the singing and shuddering is, or the screaming and reaching and dancing and crying is, other than loving what every second goes away? Goodbye, I need to say, and thank you. Every day.
Hello, everyone. I am Brandi Thompson-Summers, Associate Professor of Geography at UC Berkeley, and I am grateful as well as humbled to receive the American Culture's Excellence in Teaching Award this year. These past 2.5 years have been incredibly challenging for so many of us, and I know that it's in the classroom that, whether it's virtual or in person, that both students and faculty can find solace in order to navigate some of the most pressing and pertinent issues that we are still encountering today. So for this award, I want to thank first the selection committee. I'm sure your job was not an easy one. I also want to thank the Department Chair of Geography, Dr. Javon Scott Lewis, for nominating me for this award. I also want to thank Dr. Victoria Robinson for not only being an incredible source of support for me personally, but as an outstanding advocate for American cultures and the broader undergraduate curriculum. Victoria is a fighter, and she's exactly the kind of leader, comrade, and teacher that this institution needs. I'm forever grateful for your leadership. And last, of course, I would love to thank my students who have made it a joy to come into class each day. They challenge me, they inspire me, and really encourage me to be a better teacher every day. And to them, I am and will continue to be thankful. But lastly, I like to say that, teaching an American cultures course, particularly the one that I teach, Geography 70 AC, which is the urban experience, it's such a wonderful gift. When I arrived at UC Berkeley in 2019, I was really impressed that the AC requirement existed and for as long as it has. I'm honored to have the opportunity to teach students from such a wide cross section, across campus as it relates to their backgrounds and their fields. And I feel again like they inspire me beyond what I'm actually able to teach them. So as we celebrate AC's 31st year, I want to reiterate how important the AC curriculum, the program, and requirement is to our campus. Together, they enable faculty and students and staff to engage in an extraordinary level of critique, of care, of thoughtfulness, especially related to American life. So again, thank you so much for this award. It is a tremendous honor.
Hi, my name is Lauren Adams, and I'm a recipient of the 2022 American Cultures Prize. In the process of creating my submission, a callback, a multimodal autobiography, a lot of effort and support was required from those around me. In creating this autobiography, I had to reconnect with my birth culture and birth family to better understand the process of acquiring a new literacy. Along the way, I wanted to thank those who have supported me for this journey. First, my GSI, Brendan Henrik, who cultivated an amazing classroom environment where such a vulnerable and tenuous concept could be fully supported and come to full fruition. Thank you. Next, I wanted to thank my birth family for being so open and communicative and responsive in this wonderful process of reconciliation and reconnection. You have made it so easy and so exciting to connect with you and with my Coast Salish roots. Thank you. And finally, to my parents and my siblings, who have been a rock along this journey. Having you by my side was difficult, I'm sure, but I'm glad you were there, and it has meant the world to me that you were. The fact that this project has been awarded such an honor really humbles me, and I wanted to let other adoptees know that along the way, I learned that family is absolutely what you make of it. So choose to include those who are kind and supportive or are willing to support you to be in yours.